You do not need $100,000 of a budget. If you're passionate about it, if you're passionate about this, bro, like you can use $100, right, to make a short film.
Welcome to another episode of Pushing Your Peers Podcast, the #1 podcast in the region for living a progressive and happier life. Today we're diving into the world of vision, purpose, and passion through the lens of one of the brightest young creatives in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Malachi Jarrett, the 21-year-old filmmaker behind the groundbreaking short film Ripple Effect, a cinematic masterpiece that's been sparking conversations about gun violence and social responsibility, not only in the Turks and Caicos Islands, but across the entire Caribbean. Malachi's journey is a powerful example of resilience, creativity, and purpose-driven storytelling. If you're moved by his story, if it made you think, reflect, or feel inspired, leave a comment below, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your engagement helps us to keep sharing real stories that make a real difference. Sit back, relax, and let's get ready to push some peers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Malachi Jarrett to Pushing Your Peers Podcast. Malachi, it's a pleasure to have you on my show. Now, Malachi is one of the up-and-coming filmmakers in the Turks and Caicos Islands. He recently directed the film entitled Ripple Effect, which we're going to talk about. And his film was selected in the Caribbean Film Festival, and he recently traveled to Trinidad also. So we're going to touch all of that right now. However, let's get to know Malachi a bit. Malachi, tell us, where did your journey begin with filmmaking?
It's actually crazy. In the beginning of 2023, I was doing nothing, right? Just graduated, tried out college, wasn't really for me, right? So at this point in time, I was just trying to find what to do, right? Most of you think that when you're just in the dark, nothing's happening for you. No, something's happening for you. You gotta look, right? You gotta search. That's what I was doing, right? So I was curious. I just wanted to do everything. I was doing courses around this time, right? And I was like, until my dad was like, hey, make some money, go work with Sports Commission, right? At Inter High, right? So I was a camera operator, right? And I was just learning cameras at this point in time, right? And I was learning on the go, right? This was the beginning of me and my journey in filmmaking, right? Later down the line, there was a flyer that came out. My dad told me about it again. Hey, they have this thing, right? Sports Commission just started something called Project Idea, right? Where they're teaching photography, content creation, and filmmaking. And like I said, I'm curious, right? So I wanted to learn. I wanted to be a sponge for knowledge. So I said, why not just join? I joined, and that was the beginning of the journey.
So you joined this Project Idea group or class. Yeah. Tell us about the first few weeks being a part of this program. What was that experience like?
Man, it was definitely an experience. It was me getting to meet my professors, right? Rodney, Reno, Sam, shout out to each one of them. Each one of them owned their own companies and businesses, and they wanted to share their knowledge with us, right? So we learned things like ISO, shutter speed, all types of stuff, basic foundational knowledge on like camera and how to edit and the camera settings and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then with filmmaking, which I kind of lean more towards, I learned storytelling and how important storytelling can be, not just in, let me tell you a story. How we be telling stories. We go back in the days, right? It's almost the same thing, but it's more compelling. It has more features. It has more components like cinematography, screenwriting, directing. Each one has its own lane, right? And so I lean more towards filmmaking, especially previously working with Sam for the events for Inter High and Inter High. It was Inter High. right? Working with him, I just learned. No, it's interprimary. My bad. It was interprimary. I worked with him, right? Working with him for interprimary, it kind of gave me insight on who he was and what I could learn from him. And so I leaned more towards filmmaking, what he was teaching.
All right, so now you're in this program. Now you're really engulfed in the whole environment. You got mentors.
Mm-hmm.
How did this director position get assigned to you? How did that come about?
Like I said before, I was a sponge, man. So when he was like, okay, me being ignorant, right? I didn't know how much work had to go into each department. So I was just like, man, I'm trying to do everything. I'm trying to do everything. Yeah. I didn't, it was hard. It was some work. It was work. I mean, I did get a chance to do everything, but I couldn't have done everything. I couldn't. It was impossible.
Right.
Right? I wanted to learn how to be a screenwriter. I wanted to learn how to do this and do that. And me just raising my hand for every position, I was like, man, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. So I think that's how I got the director position. And me being the most passionate about it, about everything that I was learning, I got the
It's
role.
only right.
It was only right,
He's only. Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
I get it. I get now. You become director. Uh Ripple effect. You know, it's a big film.
Yeah.
One of the best films we've seen maybe ever. That can be debated, obviously. Right? But one of the biggest films we've seen,
Mhm.
I'll say ever, in this country. You know, how did that script and all of that come about? Let's talk about pre-production and
Mhm.
also production.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Pre-production. Oh man, we were still in the learning process. Every class, we were learning and actually executing our plans. Right. So for filmmaking, for that department in project idea, the initial project was to create a 5 minute something, 5 minute product that would have showcased sports and something else while tying in filmmaking, right? Little to my knowledge, you know how creative I was when I got to the paper and pen, and I just started writing, and ideas started flowing, and yeah, it became, instead of a 5 minute project, it became a 35-minute project, a short film. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that they didn't knock it. It wasn't just me writing a screenplay. I had my mentors to guide me. Because I'm not gonna lie, we started out with some crazy ideas in the beginning that wasn't in our budget or in our resources. But we still made it work somehow, right? And even in writing the script, I even lost the script writing it. I was like 30 pages in and I lost the whole script due to system failure. And I think I got set back to like page 5. Man, I already was like I wasn't in tears, but emotionally I was scarred. I was just like, bro, I got a few days to
Right.
lock in and make sure that this screenplay is done. Right. So I locked in for a few days. I'm talking about Red Bulls and coffee stacked up like a skyscraper on my table. But I got the job done. Went back to the drawing board, went back to my storyboard, and I understood what I wrote. Right. I retained the knowledge of everything I had wrote the previous weeks before. Um, so now going into production, or still pre-production, you could say, we were casting for actors, right? I was posting on my Instagram page and I was posting on my Facebook page, hey, we're looking for actors. In the beginning it's a little bit hard, you know. Whereas I can post, hey, we're looking for actors right now. I'll get way more responses than back then, because everybody see how great it became. But with the help of Sports Commission and One Island Media, we got actors, man. We had actors. We had Mohan Cox, great actor. I mean, he's not even an actor, but it just shows how passionate he was, right? Davion Banks and Leo Lightbourne. We got Cowboy from David's Bar. we even had the prime. No, we even had the deputy premier, right? The deputy premier, even in this film, portraying to be a doctor. So we were just looking for anyone who wanted to be passionate, who who wanted a part in this film, right? Now getting on sets, that was a little bit tedious because we had to find locations. Thank God for Sports Commission and whatnot in Milan because, you know, they were looking for those locations and thank God they had access to locations already. But
Right.
it was a fun journey. I can't lie. Just the whole process, even me losing the script. Now I can laugh about it. I couldn't laugh about it back then, but I can laugh about it now. You know.
There's this undertone or this underlying message that Ripple Effect had in regards to gun violence
Hmm.
and all of that. Were you guys intentional with that? How did that come about uh, in the film?
At the time, right? At the time, I wanted something impactful. I wanted to hit Turks and Caicos Islands, even the regional countries around us. I wanted to hit home, right? What are something that we're all dealing with? Crime. What is one crime that we're all for sure dealing with? Gun violence, right? It's never really spoken about because it's such a touchy subject. So I wanted to show people that this can mess up someone's life, right? Just one decision, one bad decision can lead a domino effect, a ripple effect, right? Destroying someone's life, right? So I wanted to tie in sports, right? Because that was the main element we had to tie in and we had to write about. And I wanted to put in gun violence with the components of storytelling to give a finished product.
So now you got this finished product,
Hmm.
and it swept the country by storm. I mean, everybody's talking about this film in it. And then
Hmm.
a few months later, you got selected to be a part, and this is the first time ever, the Caribbean Film Festival.
Yeah.
Tell me about the experience of first having a successful film in the country and then seeing that it was received well regionally as
Hmm.
well.
You know, I understand when people look at their phone and they see like, oh, we have 50,000 views, right, on social media, but you really don't understand it until you're on a stage, until you're on a platform, until you're looking at 50,000 people in front of you. So it didn't hit me when we posted the trailer and it got 100,000 views on all platforms. It didn't hit me. I was just like, damn, that's great. People left and right calling me director in the streets. Still didn't hit me. Only until we had the premiere, the Ripple Effect premiere, and it was sold out in matters of what, a week, I think. It just showed me, okay, this is getting a bit serious because them prices wasn't just $50. Them prices
No,
was
it was
over $200, well
yeah,
over 200.
yeah,
I was just like,
yeah.
people got money like this in Texas, you know. I was, I was shocked, but I only recognized the impact I had after being at the premiere, right? People approaching me on the street talking about, hey, I saw your trailer. What is it about? People asking me left, right, and center while I'm in the store shopping for some groceries. I got banana in the cart. Somebody saying, hey, aren't you that director, that guy? You know? So it really hit home, right? Because I was like, that's what I wanted. I wanted to impact people, right? Now they can come to me and ask me, hey, what is the story about? Even being at the premiere, right? The governor, so many people came to support us. So many people, right? For such a touchy subject, they all agreed on the matter. Even people overseas, right? Even people overseas. It was just a beautiful thing. Being able to travel for a film I never thought could bring this much views or eyes on, bro. It was crazy. Like I got to travel for a film. Like if you asked me 2 years ago where this film was gonna be, I was like, man, probably somewhere over, on Facebook. I don't know. I don't know. Right? But to see that it's brought me so far, it's open windows for me to attend university. It's open windows for me to get a grant from the government. It opened windows because now I get to work with certain people overseas. Now they see how passionate I am. I have a portfolio, at least a base portfolio, right? It has opened so many doors. And I want to tell whoever's watching this, right? You may be doing something and you may not think of it to be big as it is. I promise you, just lock in. Just lock in. No matter if you think it's minuscule and small, it has the potential to be larger than whatever you think. It takes one person to look at it and one person to connect you in that same department with millionaires and billionaires. So yeah, even just traveling to the event in Trinidad and Tobago, it was my first time. Last year I was saying, man, I want to go to Trinidad and Tobago, probably see what carnival's like. And boom, I was,
Amazing.
bro, it was crazy. The people are beautiful, they're kind, they're sweet. It's insane, man. It's insane. And being there to see people ask me questions about my film, because I had the filmmaker's tag, seeing everybody in their gowns, everybody in their custom made suits, seeing other people in my field, screenwriters, directors, producers, even meeting Asha Lovelace, and it's mind blowing, bro. It's mind blowing. People that you would only hear about,
Right.
and I've gotten the opportunity to meet these people and to network with these people. So it's been a beautiful journey, man.
Malachi, thank you for sharing that. I want to utilize this opportunity to pay homage to Nandina and her program,
Yeah,
Project Idea. With such a huge success, like ripple effect. I don't
yeah,
know how the new group come in and that. Like, I feel bad for the new guys, but I'm happy for her, and this is exactly. I mean, me and Nandina have a long relationship,
hmm,
and this is exactly what she wanted. And so for the new guys who's coming into the program, because I recently saw the poster come out again,
hmm,
what would be your advice to the new persons coming into the program 1 and 2? Also parents who may be watching and being skeptical
yeah.
about enrolling their children into the program as well.
Be a sponge. Be a sponge for knowledge. Like that's that's the foundation right there. Be a sponge, right? Don't be afraid to lift up your hand and say, "Hey, I want to do this." I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the experience. Yet I raised my hand and now I'm in the position I'm in. Right? So there was a guy on Instagram that said the same thing. He's a millionaire. He was like, "Oh man, hey, I didn't know how to do this, but I took the job and I learned on the job. That's what I did. You got to learn on the job, man. Like, and I know that Project Idea has some massive things in store. It's crazy. Like they are in good hands. They are in super good hands, right? Be a sponge. Like, don't be afraid. Like Nandina, she's a wizard in marketing, right? Wizard in graphics. Sam, master at storytelling. Learn, man. Just learn, right? Don't be afraid. Don't see what I've done and say you can't do it, because I was in that same position and be like, man, I don't know, this could be a little cool film, until I saw the cameras and I saw the equipment that we were using. I was like, right? Even in film school, you have to take 2 years minimum to even touch the equipment we were touching, right?
Wow.
These were expensive equipment, heavy equipment. We had to wake up at 5 a.m. to be on set by 6. Then we had to work through long hours, take in between breaks, but long hours, man, long hours. Sometimes it was in the sun. Sometimes it was at night. Sometimes it was raining. You just gotta love the process, man, and adapt to every situation. Like, we had complications on set from day one. Day one, we had complications. The Airbnb was small, but we made it work, right? We were trying to get one Airbnb, but it didn't work, so we had to get the next one, and that right there is the perfect Airbnb, because no one would have known unless I didn't tell you, right? There's always complications on set. Adapt, right? So one, be a sponge. Be a sponge for knowledge. Two, despite you not knowing nothing, despite you not having the experience, raise up your hand and say, I want to do it, right? I want to do it. I want to be director. And you will see what I went through. You will see. You will see. It's not easy work, right? 3, and last but not least, adapt. Because there are situations in every field, every department in the world. People want people who can adapt, right? And if you can adapt, you'll make it far.
Amazing, amazing, Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're looking at this country, the beautiful by nature Turks and Caicos Islands. You know, you mentioned the government supporting you and giving you a grant.
Mm-hmm.
What more can the government do from your experience? And you might be new to the industry, but I'm pretty sure you've seen some things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, from your experience, not others, just yours, what more can the government do to help grow the industry of filmmaking here in the Turks and Caicos Islands?
Wow. Um, I want to say first and foremost that they've been doing a good job because now they recognize that this is a venue, right? Even before filmmaking, like when I was trying to get the scholarship and the grants, filmmaking wasn't really a big part of like the charts, right? And the university pickings, and it just wasn't, right? So now that I've opened up a door saying I want to go to filmmaking school overseas in the States to a school that wasn't even on the list, now I'm opening up doors for other students who want to do the same, right? So kudos to the government for that, even just recognizing me as somebody who is able to receive the grant, right? Just not off of what I've done and who I am, but just genuinely as a local, right? They're trying hard, right? If I had to list some things that they can be doing, it's a little bit hard because we're such a tiny country and we need help from neighboring countries or even
Yes.
countries overseas. We need help. So one of my biggest advice to them would be to lock in with filmmaking um projects overseas, or like productions. And it's not as easy as just saying lock in with them because I know that requires money. That requires a whole pile of paperwork that I'm pretty sure whoever is signing off on that paperwork is gonna cry because the stack is gonna be this big, right? Uh, yeah, 1 second, my bad. But it's a very small list of what they could be doing, and I'm still new to the business, right? They could um they could expand the budgets. They can give more money to those media companies that are trying to grow their business because, like I said, like I haven't said this, but I've said this previously to other people. We are all one. The media companies are one. We're all working and representing Turks and Caicos Islands, right?
Yes.
And I feel as though connecting with other neighboring countries, like how we did with this film, going to Trinidad and Tobago, that's a perfect opportunity, right? To say, hey, we're shooting this film. We have a screenplay and a script. We have actors who are willing to work, right? Connecting with other sponsors to help fund the film. I feel like funding, more recognition, um, even funding project idea, right? Funding project idea could be a beautiful way to get young teens off the streets, right? I know Sports Commission is trying to do that from an avenue of sports. Filmmaking could be another avenue. And we have the people to do it. We have the resources to do it, right? We need to get off our, we need to get, I was about to say, we need to get off our butts. What we need to get the teens off the streets, right? Turks and Caicos is already small as it is, and there's almost nothing to do but tourism here, right? Tourism and sports. And I feel like filmmaking is another way that we can hone in on our creative skills and come out of the streets and the violence, man. Like that's what I was preaching with through this film. Gun violence, sports, filmmaking. Right? The same thing I was preaching in 2023 is the same thing I'm preaching now. And I think that the government should be more supportive in those avenues, right? To help our young teens actually become the next generation of tomorrow and to teach those kids and those kids and those kids, not just people who are filling up the prisons, right? Locals. We need locals. We need strong-minded locals. And I think that filmmaking could be a great avenue for that.
Well, I support that heavily, especially the grants. Like, I ain't gonna say no to a grant. You know what I mean?
I
Like, open thought communications.
ain't gonna say no to it. Yeah,
Shameless
I'm just,
plug, but
I'm just slipping my wallet
Malachi,
like this.
I just want to Malachi, I just want to thank you for sharing that for the first half of this show. And of course, you wouldn't be a guest on pushing your piece if you didn't push your piece.
Gotta push your
So
P.
any word or words that begins with the letter P that has been transformational or impactful to the journey, you now have a chance to push your piece.
Shoots. Man, now thinking about it, I've always been the type of person to keep moving forward, to pushing on despite my circumstances and situations. And I think my P word would be progress, right? Being progressive,
Okay.
never stopping, keep on pushing despite your circumstances, right? Despite your health, despite you don't have a camera, despite whatever it may be, being progressive. I think that's the word I would use. And throughout being progressive, you get other P words like being prosperous. Um, let me see. Uh, yeah, that's all I can think about right now. But you
Love
can
it.
do so many things through being progressive and not being stagnant, right? So yeah.
When I was writing my book Happy,
Mm-hmm.
um I when I looked at the research, the happiest people were people who were progressing, who were setting goals,
Mm-hmm.
accomplishing goals. That's why my tagline for the show is the number one podcast in the region for living a progressive and happier life. I tie progressive and happiness together, and I
Mm-hmm.
intentionally did that because it's linked. Once we're progressing in this lifetime, we tend to be more happier. It's the
Facts.
persons who are not progressing. It's the persons who can't see a way out. It's the persons who feel stuck that are the most unhappiest people.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta find a way to keep going. And you got, as you alluded to earlier, whatever you have, we now have these devices in our phone
Mm-hmm.
that are more that the camera quality is better than the cameras they shot movies with in the 90s. And the 90s quality was really good. So imagine what we can do with the knowledge of filmmaking with these cameras on our phones today. We just need the knowledge now. We just need that
I'm glad you
discipline
said
now.
that. I'm super glad that you said that, man, because there was a company that shot, or a production company that shot, I think, a commercial or a film off of an iPhone 11. An iPhone 11, right? They had apps to help them make it look like a film. But what I'm saying is, you do not need a 3,000, 4,000, $100,000 camera. You can do it off of your phone. There's other accessories you can add to your phone to make it look like a camera and make it work like a camera. But you can use that same recording button on your phone and make a film. It's just not how you
Yes.
use different components to bring out the story, like lighting or like
Mhm.
props. Your actors doing the stuff that you need them to do with the film, right? Like you do not need $100,000 of a budget. Like if you're passionate about it, if you're passionate about this, bro, like you can use $100, right, to make a short film. You do not need, like
Mhm.
I can't stress this enough, bro. If you're passionate about it, you can do it. You do not need a massive team. You don't, right? I've seen a film that was shot on a $10,000 budget. This dude paid his actors, and I think paid for food and a few other things. He had a camera and he had film, and he just paid for film out of that $10,000 budget as well. and he went on different locations just randomly with his actors and did crazy stunts while holding the camera while his actors are performing. Like, if you are passionate
Crazy.
about it, man, you do not need a massive team, right? Yes, it makes it way easier and it makes it more structured. But if you're really passionate about whatever you're doing, you'll find a way. I promise. I promise you,
Oh, for sure,
for sure.
for sure. I'm happy that you said that. Because a lot of times people feel like you need a whole lot to get started.
No,
You don't.
no.
Look at pushing your peers. We in
Mm.
my little studio, but
Oh,
the ultimate
not no
goal is
little studio.
to,
This is
well,
the best
I
podcast in the region, right? Right.
but I mean, I will be like I will my guy be sitting down and we sipping coffee.
Uh
But we gotta start somewhere. We gotta start somewhere. You know,
yeah,
I not playing it, but there's always the end goal of whatever we're doing,
right.
and we should enjoy the journey, appreciate this process, and enjoy the people that's coming along with it. It's not the
That's
destination, man. It's
that's a
really the
journey.
journey.
I always
It's
appreciate
really
as
the
well.
journey.
Like, people don't understand that, oh, having a film is work, right? They want the output. Yes, the output
Yes.
gives you a certain feeling, but the journey makes you appreciate it 100 times more. You ask a millionaire, a trust fund baby kid, you ask them who just inherited tens of millions of dollars, how they feel about 10 millions of dollars. They're gonna be like, oh, it's money. But you ask the father who had to work for it, and he appreciates that way more. It's the journey. It's the journey that gives you the appreciation of whatever you did, right? That's oftentimes what people remember, the journey. When they hear your story, it's about the journey and not the destination. Because, yeah, I can talk about
That's
being in Trinidad and Tobago, but I feel it more because I went through it. I just didn't land here and say, oh, now I'm here. No, it's because of everything that happened. I'm able to speak on my journey and able to appreciate the loss, the wins, the profits, the gains, everything, right? So for you young cats, remember to push your P, man, and don't look at somebody else. Don't look at somebody else. Look at yourself and just have the blinders, man. Have the blinders like the horse do, and just work and focus on yourself. I'm telling you.
good. I'm glad you said it too, Malachi. You
Mhm.
spoke to your generation. I'm proud of you and all your accomplishments. Now, Malachi, we ain't done yet.
For sure.
Got one more question for you.
Hit me.
This is an off question. This is nothing.
Mhm.
This is something out of the ordinary.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
If you could have any two historical figures engage in a dance off, who would they be and what style of dance would they perform?
Any two or two from this country?
Any two historical figures.
Oh man. Oh, okay. I got one. I got one. I got one. I want to see Donald Trump. Donald Trump. I want to see Donald Trump, or no, I want to see Donald Trump, and I forgot the president of China. I want to see them have a dance off, and I want to see them doing it to reggaeton. Let's just say reggaeton, right? Let's just say reggaeton. I want people to stop the war, man. Hey, let's move in a positive way. Let's
I
please.
I
I got many
I
more
saw
films to
what you did.
make.
I saw what you did there. I appreciate that so much.
For sure.
In times when it seems as though everybody's just tense or against
Facts.
each other, that's dance.
Let's dance,
It's,
man.
it's, it's a lot of
Let's
positive
live.
emotion that comes with that.
Let's live
Yes, U.S.
life.
and China, the leaders of U.S. and China, let's dance.
Let's
Let's
just
have fun,
dance,
man.
man.
World
Two
peace.
powerheads. World
World peace,
peace.
man.
World peace, man.
World,
So I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah, the flowers going up.
I love it. I love
But
it.
thank you, man.
Malachi, Just want to thank you for truly being true to yourself, also answering your calling,
Mhm.
and I wish you the best. Do you have any final words? And also, how can persons find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Carabino underscore. So that's capital C, common for the rest, ARIBBEANO underscore. And on Facebook at my name, Malachi Jarrett. You can also find me on LinkedIn at Malachi Jarrett as well. So yeah. Oh, and the last thing I want to
Any
leave
final
with you,
words?
my final words, be progressive. All right. Super serious about that. Right? Adapt to any situation you are going through. It may look very slim, but trust in God. Have faith, man. Have faith. Yeah, He's on your side. Right? Adapt. Right? And then my last and final words, push your P.
Hey, you got to push your
Gotta push your
peers
P,
now.
man. You got to.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, Malachi Jarrett, filmmaker, trailblazer, and a man on a mission to elevate the culture of filmmaking right here in the beautiful Turks and Caicos Islands. I want to thank you for coming on, and we'll see you next week on Pushing Your Peers podcast.
Push your P.